Hi, everyone. There's a lot of questions and little time, so I will start by going down the list, and hopefully we can get through as many of them, if not all of them.
When will the KYC validators be selected? Is there a date when this will start? What will the requirements for validators? How long will the training last? Who will be responsible for this? The KYC are built in automatic evaluation and testing and training system for the crowd workers or validators. This is a typical crowdsourcing, crowd-working application and design in computer science, okay? It will first have a simple tutorial at the beginning and later testing periods for testing validations. All testing validations done by not verified type of validators will not be counted in the KYC results. On the high level, their validation result will be cross-validated by other validators who have already earned the trustworthy status. Mods will be invited to be the validators first, to seed the trustworthiness of validators. Mega mods will be assigned to trustworthy status first. And then as mods validation results in the training period comes and matches mega mods results based on the algorithm, they will also earn the trustworthy validator status. But we don't count the whatever work result of the training period of the validators.
Okay, when and how will the KYC validator receive Pi rewards? The short answer is when we know how much these rewards need to be. But let me explain and clarify. So at the moment, we're asking pioneers to pay 1 Pi as the cost to their KYC process. Now, this 1 Pi needs to cover several validation steps that were taken by multiple people. So not just one validator. It's not enough that one validator says, yes, this is correct. It has to be at least several. There is an algorithm that decides based on how much they agree with each other and who agrees and the previous history of its validator. It depends. It will have either few or more validate or more consensus votes essentially necessary. So the steps may include things like verify that this ID is a valid ID of that specific country. Or verify that this picture matches the picture on the ID, or verify, or if the data was not, if our AI algorithm was not able to extract automatically the data from the ID, then, we need to verify that this data actually matches, the validator. A human validator will have to basically, do that extraction. And we also may have to involve those validators with the potential name appeals that are happening, that pioneers have applied for, so that we can have a human, basically review every appeal. Now, we need to let this process run, and find what is the average amount of work that happens for every one person who KYCs. So we have to let at least several thousand people finish KYCing first to get an accurate estimate of that number, so that then we can assign a value to how much Pi each one of these steps will be attributing to the validator. So for the time being, all that Pi that is accumulated goes into a pool, and once we have the accurate estimate of the amount of Pi that needs to go into each piece of work, we will start distributing it out.
And the format of, first of all, to split the pieces of validation is the design is, I think, probably previously communicated, is to have this design protecting the privacy of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's splitting the work, not just one validator validate the whole set of data of one KYC, one pioneer who wants to go to KYC. The splitting into pieces limited the exposure to a specific validator, the subset of one pioneer's information. For example, the person who is validating image inside the document versus the selfie will only see an image, will not see even the framework or the document looks. But for people who are seeing the document looks, we are trying to cover all the private information and also the image, so that the different validators are exposed to only subset of one pioneer's information to some extent protect the privacy of the pioneer. In addition to that, why do we have a pool and then distribute? Why can't we design like, oh, my pie just goes to the people who validate mine? The reason is because all KYC, all pioneers going through KYC that require work from the validators, not necessarily being successfully pass the KYC. Means that if they don't pass the KYC, they will never have the pie in the first place to pay for the validation work done by the crowd workers. However, the work done by the validators will actually, even on the people who fail the KYC, that is still work done and still worth, compensating. So in that case, that's why the pool will be contributed by anyone who successfully passed KYC, being able to have the pie they actually they have, and then being able to pay for the service. And then this pool is distributing to work by all validators on whether or not the KYC case goes through or not, because this work is the same. Whether the result of the specific pioneer's KYC shouldn't affect whether the validator's work should be compensated or not. So that's why this is the design of the pool, the fundamental reason.
Suppose I am KYC'd and created a wallet 3 days back, but I forgot the private key and can't create a new wallet due to the 1 week limit. What if my Pi balance is transferred to that recently created wallet where I don't remember the private key? I guess the answer to this question is that because we'll have this confirmation, so the person will just simply wait, rather than, if they really lost the key, they have to wait for a week before they push the button to say, I want to transfer to Mainnet now. I want to start transferring to Mainnet now. If they lose the key to their wallet after they pressed the button, well, that's similar to losing it at any time in Mainnet. There will be a process for changing your wallet for future transfers.
And I want to make it clear. I mean, that's the nature of blockchain. Every good thing comes with its own negatives. The fact that you have full control, non-custodial, is that there is no other way, for, like in the case of loss of keys. And what we can do, of course, is trying to design systems that try to prevent that. But the fact that it's a blockchain, it comes with those its benefits and its disadvantages.
Mm.
And a lot of people lost their Bitcoin because of they lost their private keys. What can they do? They can't do anything.
Unfortunate. Will there be a place in the app to see how many KYC users we have in the community? The answer is maybe. The wallets actually are publicly viewable on the blockchain anyways. So, at least the strict subset of people who've KYC'd and have already migrated to Mainnet will be publicly accessible on the blockchain. So you can just count how many wallets they're there. But we may come up with an even nicer UI, maybe somewhere in the app or on the main page that just displays the count. Maybe we'll have a page that displays the count of KYC pioneers, the count of nodes, the count of people in, with different things, the amount of Pi locked, like different stuff. But worst case scenario, just look at the blockchain and it's there. Will miners who do not meet the age criteria will be able to KYC once they do?
Once they do, means they reach the age.
Yeah, when they are old enough.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if they are old enough, they already qualifies. But even for minors, as we communicated before, once the master KYC is ongoing, we will hope to design the parent consent that is required for minor KYC. Okay.
Yeah. So this way they can KYC along with their parents, and the parents can consent for the kid to KYC.